Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my review for The Boys Season 5, or the final season of The Boys, I should say. So we are wearing black because we are mourning. Ladies and gentlemen, The Boys is officially over. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Share, leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on The Boys, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? So, I was someone who got onto The Boys relatively late. It was when season 3 was about to kick off. And I didn't even know season 3 was coming out. I just decided to start the show. And when I tell you, I binge watched the first 2 seasons in literally probably 2 days. I thought the show was just absolutely phenomenal. Season 3 came out. That was my first time going week to week. And that was a lot of fun too, being part of those conversations and being part of those theories. Then after season 3, I do think, and even after this season, is when the show relatively peaked. I think season 3 was the best season. Season 4 and season 5 never really got to live up to those expectations. I think both of those seasons are fine for what they are. But yeah, the best season overall, if I'm going to rank them, 3 would be at the top. As for the others, I have to really sit down and think about it. But now, here we are, final season. Was really excited to get into it, but it was also sad because, again, we were saying goodbye to these characters that we were around for, was it 7 years the show went on for, which is quite the amazing feat. And overall, I did enjoy the season. I enjoyed it most than others. Online, the discourse really has been that this season has been horrible, which kind of seems to be the theme as we get to final seasons, and I tend to be the outlier. On my immediate thoughts, I brought up Stranger Things, so I guess I'll keep it going along here as well. Like the final season of Stranger Things, I didn't necessarily mind whatsoever, but a lot of people weren't a huge fan with it. And then when we got to The Boys, I was enjoying every episode for the most part. There were some episodes where I thought relatively, yeah, that was a little bit of a downer when it comes to overall quality. But again, overall, this season as a whole, I enjoyed everything we got week to week. However, where my issues with this season come from was this constant within the middle that I would say within episode 3. No, because the first 3 episodes overall, I really did enjoy. It was when 4 and 5 is where I really felt my frustrations the most, because we were just going around the houses with these conversations. Like episode 3, we kind of reset to where we were at the end of season 4, just in different circumstances. And then, this whole conversation around the V1 and then this virus, and Butcher and Hughie constantly arguing about releasing this virus, or can we postpone it until we can get a cure for Kimiko and Starlight, or Annie, as she was mostly called throughout this whole entire season, unless you're on Team Homelander. Just going around that, Homelander's like, I'm a god now. Yes, sir. Okay. Do people believe in me? No. Okay, kill them. Blah, blah, blah. And the constant back and forth around that. The deep storyline, I wasn't the hugest fan of throughout, because I get it. For the most part, he was a joke throughout the whole entire series. But this season, just, his whole beef with Black Noir and just everything that was going on over there just really wasn't fulfilling to me. Now, once we got to the final episode, I absolutely loved where the Deep ends up. I think that was a perfect end for his character, and I would even say that for all the characters involved. I think everyone, where they ended up, was right where they needed to be, and I did appreciate that quite a bit. It's just within this middle, especially when it comes to the V1, I just don't think it was necessary at all to the plot, where I kind of sit here and think, I was like, maybe we could have made this a movie. Like, season 4 was the last season of television, but when we got here, okay, we're just gonna trim it down to 2 or 3 hours. I think we could have made a very entertaining 3-hour flick out of this. And okay, we're going to scrap the V1, we're just going to focus on our boys, and then we're going to take on Homelander, and the whole 3 hours is us going to be trying to figure out how to get Kimiko's Soldier Boy's power. And that's what needed to be the plan for me, because the V1 storyline just felt like something to bring Soldier Boy in, and we could have still had him in the season in some other capacity. But I felt like we used Soldier Boy for the most part was just to promote Vought Rising that was coming out, because every time we would focus on him, we would bring up Stormfront, we would bring up someone else, and we bring up these past heroes that, again, that we are going to talk about in Vought Rising, and it just felt like he was marketing throughout this whole entire season. Now, don't get me wrong, I liked when we got Soldier Boy. I loved the whole Supernatural reunion that we got in episode, I think it was in episode 5. And when he is talking, I am very well entertained. But when I sit back and I judge this whole season as a whole, that's kind of where I position him. It's like, yeah, we used him as marketing. I'm excited for Vought Rising, but I just wish we could have used him in another way. And I think we only brought up V1 so this could bring back Soldier Boy, and we could use Soldier Boy because he has the scouting, and we could promote our new show going on through. I can understand the thought process. Just to me, overall, the execution of it didn't really sit well with me. And then besides that, everything else I kind of enjoyed. I did think the finale rushed a couple of things here and there. And this is where I brought up Stranger Things, because here we were mostly focused on the final battle between Butcher and Homelander. I thought the battle at the White House was absolutely great. I kind of wish we could have got to that battle a little bit quicker, because I think someone commented as well that it was only a 10-minute fight. It didn't feel that quick while watching, but when re-watching, you can see, the real quickness and abruptness of it. Again, that whole beginning portion of it I thought was the stronger portion of this episode. But yeah, I would have liked to live in that a little bit longer, just to make it a little bit more a feeling like, oh, maybe Homelander can actually win, and we could have a very bleak ending on our hands. And then where Homelander ends up, he loses his powers, he loses everything that gave him such authority and to make him think he can be God in a lot of ways, and he results to that cowardly little boy that we have been hinting at throughout the whole entire season, a little too much for my liking, in all honesty, because every single episode, like, oh yeah, because you're just so insecure. Oh, you're just so insecure. You're nothing without your powers because you have so much fear. Oh yeah, these people don't like you. We went to it one too many times, but boy, was it fulfilling seeing him saying, I will suck your I will eat your, and everything else that he said to Butcher, until Butcher finally put the crowbar in his face. Again, very, very fulfilling. Anthony Starr really knocked it out of the park this season. He was a constant throughout the whole entire this final season as well, a real standout. I am sad to see the character go, and knowing that there is no way of bringing him back. I mean, it's the Boys universe. There's ways that we can clone and everything like that. I mean, look at the comic, right? But there are ways that we can do it. But, we'll never have that Homelander ever again. You know what I mean? And, it's sad. Like, seeing him go was, like, very satisfying. But at the same time, damn, man. He was fun to hate watch in a lot of ways. Same with Karl Urban as Butcher. I like where he ended up as well. He also died. He's laying next to his wife. I thought that was a very satisfying conclusion. I feel like we could have had the virus stuff mixed in with the White House stuff. I don't think we needed another portion. I get it. Butcher needed to feel like there's nothing else for me to do. Ryan's now a human. He wants no part of me. I lost Terror. Maybe I will set this virus off, and before I'm doing it, they will kill me, but I also kill them because I have nothing else left to live for. I understand it. I kind of wish we would have built that up, sprinkled it in a little bit more throughout the whole entire season as opposed to just episode 2. And again, we could have mixed it in with the White House stuff. Maybe puts it into the watering tank already, and that was a last piece of resort in case Kimiko couldn't do it. He would hit it, and then there you go, they all die, right? But I guess Kimiko needed to be in because, again, he had the V1 in him. So again, the whole V1 stuff just really felt extra to me. If you take that whole element out, you could have condensed both Huey and Butcher here. Not to say I would have made a better finale. No, again, overall, I'm very satisfied where we ended up. But again, it's just where we could have saved that time and we could have used that to get to the denouement or the epilogue of this whole entire series and seeing where everyone ended up and living in that a little bit longer, you know? Like, Eminem, for 4 seasons, hell, really all 5, all he wanted to be was with his wife and daughter. And we never got to see that. And I was really excited when this was all over. And I was really clamoring for, I really hope Eminem stays alive because I want to see him reconnect with his wife, re-get married, and actually see him be the family guy that he really wants to be. I didn't get that. All I got was, hey, we know he's going to be with his wife, so we're just going to smash cut to them getting remarried. He has Ryan with him now, which I like. I do like Ryan being with Eminem, but I really wanted to see him walk up to that door, knock on it. There's his wife. Brief conversation. Then we could have smash cut to the wedding, and then again, just see them at dinner. You know what I mean? So. And having a conversation with each other and seeing him be that family guy, like, hey baby, how was school today? Oh, you need help with your test? Oh, I got you. Ryan, you got a meet coming up. Yeah, I'm gonna bring some of the family out. We can't wait to support you. That's all I needed. I didn't need 30 minutes of Eminem being a family guy and seeing that whole entire rebuilding his relationship with his wife. No, I didn't. I just needed a little bit more time with them. And again, it was just maybe 5 minutes that we could have not used for the Huey and Butcher stuff, but we could have used it for Eminem. Same that goes for Kamiko, where now I don't know if she's immortal, and if she is, then this makes her ending a little bit more sadder, but she goes out to that restaurant. And that her and Frenchie talked about, I do believe they talked about at some point, but you know, she's living out his dream. She gets the croissant. I didn't know if maybe the meet cute was between her and that waiter, because why show the waiter? You know what I mean? And if she is immortal, because that's something she does not want at all, because she has the power of Soulja Boy, and Soulja Boy is immortal. That is really, really interesting to really think about and chew on, if that is to be true. But yeah, I would have liked to see that a little bit on too, where it's like, yeah, no, she's really sad, but the girl is going to be okay. I know we kind of wrapped that around when Frenchie came back from the dead to help give her the strength to take down, to remove Homelander's power. But again, I would have liked to see that a little bit more. Any Huey stuff I really like quite a bit. She's pregnant now. We did the callback from the very first scene of the show where they go to the street. They're holding hands, but you know, now his girlfriend doesn't get smashed by A-Train, but she goes up and she's going to save. To me, that was really cleverly thought out, to me personally, where it was a callback to the beginning, same shot. Now he's embraced the hero as opposed to hating the heroes. When it comes to that within the finale, I did enjoy it. I just would have liked to be in it a little bit longer. As for everything else, where Sage ended up, I thought that was nice. She always wanted to not be the smartest person in the room. She really liked being dumb in a lot of ways. Now she gets to do that. I also like that we got that out of the way relatively early, so again, that we could just focus on the boys, and we had none of the extra players that we brought up from season 4 or season 5. Again, Deep dying by the shot from Starlight, but it was the sea creatures that took him out. To me, was very, very fulfilling. The creatures that he said he loved, but all he did was take advantage of, are the ones that take him out, and it was the girl that he sexually assaulted that sent him in there. No notes. I thought that was perfect. It's just the overall journey I wasn't a huge fan of. The Black Noir stuff, again, felt very extra to me. Everything we did with A-Train, I kind of wish we could have stretched him out a little bit longer. I think we could have probably had A-Train in the Deep going at it for, you know, a few episodes. Not everyone needed to make it to the finale. I definitely do agree with that. But, you know, again, A-Train was someone who was there always from season 1, to see him go in episode 1, and someone like Firecracker, who I did end up really liking this season in a lot of ways, before she went in episode 5, I believe, or was it episode 6? The bottle episode where we went through everyone's different perspective, again, to me was a relatively an extra episode, an episode that we probably didn't necessarily need, especially the Black Noir portion of it. But again, I will always appreciate the supernatural reunion that we got in this season. But yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more of A-Train throughout it. But even though I think his ending was absolutely perfect as well, he was no longer afraid of Homelander. So yeah, overall, again, was this the perfect ending? Maybe not, but it didn't need to be. Was this the perfect season? Absolutely not, but it didn't need to be. It just needed to bring overall a satisfying conclusion to the show, and I think it did accomplish that in a lot of ways. Is it fair to have criticism of it? Absolutely, but I don't think this was a bad season, and I don't think that this season automatically makes the show bad just because the final note was not the result that not ultimately everyone wanted. In a lot of ways, I had a good time. I am satisfied. I am sad to see these characters go. Do I think they will stay gone? Who knows with how Hollywood is today, but I am content with never seeing these characters again, even though that does make me sad. But I did like where everyone ended up, where it's like, okay, all right, I know you're gonna be okay, and I'll see you when I see you, type of thing. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. But now the conversation steers to you. What did you think of the final season of The Boys? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a like if you made it this far within a review. I do greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And don't forget to squeeze the days, guys, because life is too short not to give your all. So squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Limit Studios.